Indie Mogul.
The infamous short attention span of the tween audience strikes again as audiences dump Miley Cyrus for Zac Efron, powering the mini-stud to a #1 opening. Just how hot is Zac Efron? Let's find out with some movie math. And round 2 goes to Zac Efron as he easily takes the #1 spot while Miley Cyrus falls 16% to land at #4. While 17 again was 8 million shy of Hannah Montana's 32 million opening, it held up considerably better over its first weekend. Hannah Montana did 53% of its business on opening day, while 17 again held steady from Friday to Saturday, possibly meaning the film's got legs. Its opening is very close to 2004's Mean Girls, which went on to gross 86 million at the box office and solidified Lindsay Lohan as a tween movie star. And then she committed career suicide with her on-set antics while shooting what would be the first of her many flops, Herbie Fully Loaded. It's still too early to tell if 17 again will be able to meet or top Mean Girls' box office performance, but Efron better hope to God he doesn't follow in Lohan's footsteps, who was also eager to grow up fast. Nabbing a spot below the fold is State of Play, coming in at #2 with 14 million. Sadly, that's right on target with Crow's other recent openings for Body of Lies, 3:10 to Yuma, and Cinderella Man. All of those movies went on to gross 60 and under, so look for State of Play to do the same. But this is a step up for Affleck, as his previous films, Hollywoodland and Surviving Christmas, failed to break 10 million with their debuts. Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, who are originally going to star in State of Play, don't have box office records that are much better, when you don't count their franchise work, so it looks like this movie was doomed from the start. But would the buzz over a Fight Club reunion have made a difference? Still too hard to tell, as that movie was more of a cult hit than box office sensation. Showing the kind of endurance that would make the military proud, Monsters vs. Aliens fell just 40% in its 4th weekend to land at #3. Gobbling up another 12.9 million, the DreamWorks animation pick has a total so far of 162 million. That means it's got one foot out the door of DreamWorks Animation's Hall of Shame, aka films that didn't warrant a sequel. Over the next few weeks, we'll be able to see if Reese Witherspoon and company will be able to get the other foot out. Looks like Jason Statham isn't the only one who needs a jolt of energy. Crank 2 High Voltage opened at #6 with just 6.5 million. Wrong way, Statham. Sequels are supposed to improve upon the original, whereas Crank 1 opened at #2 with 10.4 million. I guess Sex and Violence need a new member for their threesome. But Jason Statham did satisfy those in the mood, as I asked you to rate Crank 2 on a 1 to 10 and you gave it a 9, the same score audiences gave it on Fridays beyond the trailer. And the winner of this week's one-sentence review challenge is Greetings from Wills, who says, "Imagine if John Woo and Andy Warhol went on a meth binge and made an enthusiastically insane, chaotically crafty action film, and you'll get an idea of what Crank 2 is all about." Runner-up Deco 4848 adds, "Crank 1 was like a legal way to take drugs, but Crank 2 was like a legal way to take lots more drugs, drink 12 vodkas, go partying, and still feel good in the morning." And in February, I asked you to predict the final box office gross for Paul Blart Mall Cop, and the time has come to announce a winner. Red-Handed Rejects was the closest with a guess of 146 million. In other news, Observe and Report fell 63% in its second weekend and is up to 18.6 million. Wow, that's embarrassing. But oh yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution fell 67% and out of the top 10, sporting a grand total of just under 8 million. Gee, Seth Rogen, I guess it could be worse. I saw a movie this weekend and I'll tell you all about it after the break.
What happens when you put together one band and one filmmaker to create an original music video for $99? Watch world premiere videos every week at $99musicvideos.com. Best experience with Verizon Fios Internet.
My name's Justin, and I see movies everywhere. You're watching Indie Mogul.
I was going to see Crank 2 High Voltage this weekend, but unfortunately when I went to buy my ticket, I just couldn't do it. While I enjoyed the first Crank, rumors of a scene featuring anal rape by shotgun in this movie made me decide to skip it. So instead, I went to see a movie about a pedophile. Thanks a lot, Zac Efron. I have never seen so much frank discussion about sex in a movie aimed at tweens in my life. And the audience seemed to have little sympathy for Efron's character's dilemma. See, back in 1989, he gets his girlfriend pregnant and decides to pass up a college basketball scholarship and marry her instead. I heard several people mutter to their friends, "Duh, use a condom, Efron," so apparently sex ed classes are working. Anyways, I'd have to agree with Hollywood Reporter film critic Kirk Honeycutt that many student athletes have families, so Efron's decision to give up his dreams for a surprise baby doesn't really make sense. But this movie isn't about reality, it's about sex. I mean, it pretends to be about family and Zac Efron's character realizing that being a great dad and husband is what's really important, but no, it's about sex. For some reason, when actors decide to break away from Disney, they feel the best way to do that is to sex it up as much as possible. And Zac Efron really wants to break away from Disney. The moves he puts on Leslie Mann in this movie, right in front of her kids no less, and how Leslie Mann responds in real life would get her arrested and Efron thrown in counseling. It's an odd move, as I don't think Efron's fans would like seeing him court an older woman, and I don't really see older women becoming Zac Efron fans. How is Efron as an actor? Surprisingly good, and I wish he had more faith in his acting abilities instead of feeling he had to tart it up to get everyone's attention. Forget DiCaprio and Depp, looks like Efron is the new Demi Moore. As always, thanks for watching Movie Math, and I'll see you on Friday as Beyond the Trailer covers Obsessed, Fighting, and The Soloist. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some Movie Math.
Subscribe, comment, rate it.